Hello children, this is Miss Urai. So today I will be dealing with the chapter Atmospheric Pressure and Wind of Class 9. First, we will recapitulate as to what we had done in the class. So we were dealing with the atmospheric pressure and the wind. What exactly is atmospheric pressure? So we can say that it is the pressure that is exerted on the surface when the collision of the gas molecule takes place or colliding of the gas molecules takes place. That is known as air pressure. So there are various factors which affects the air pressure, that is altitude, temperature and Earth's rotation. When we say altitude, how does it affect the air pressure? So air pressure, it decreases with increase in altitude. So the air pressure, it is decreasing with increasing altitude, and the rate at which the air pressure it is decreasing is 34 millibar at the rate of 300 meters rise in altitude. So temperature is inversely related to pressure, meaning temperature increases, pressure decreases, and vice versa. Earth's rotation also, it affects the air pressure due to rotation. What happens is air at the poles, it gets pushed towards the equator, and air coming down from the poles occupy more space as it expands, and the pressure obviously falls, or the pressure becomes low. There are various pressure belts developed on the Earth's surface due to the pressure. So those pressure belts are the equatorial low pressure belt that is extending from 5 degrees north and south of the equator, and it's also known as doldrum. The second one is the subtropical high pressure belt that is extending from 25 degrees to 35 degrees north and south of the equator. It is also known as the horse latitude. The third one is the subpolar low pressure belt, and that is extending from 55 degree to 60 degree north and south of the equator. The fourth one is the polar high pressure belt, and that is extending between 75 degree to 90 degree north and south of the equator. Amongst the pressure belts that are there, subtropical high pressure belt and subpolar low pressure belt, these are dynamically created pressure belt because it is not affected by the temperature. We had also dealt with the wind. So what exactly is wind? It is just the horizontal movement of the air. When the horizontal movement of the air takes place, that is known as the wind. So wind movement also can be classified into primary circulation, secondary circulation and tertiary circulation. So when we see primary circulation, it is the circulation of the wind that is basically created because of the arrangement of the pressure belts on the Earth's surface. And the wind that is created by it is known as planetary or permanent wind. Then second one is the secondary wind. It is not directly related to the pressure belt. Rather, we can say that the creation of this wind circulation is because of the unequal heating and cooling of the Earth's surface. Then the tertiary wind, which is caused by local cause, or it affects only a small area. This kind of wind circulation, it is known as the tertiary wind circulation. Then we have the types of wind. There are four main types of wind, that is the permanent or planetary wind, periodic or seasonal wind, local and variable winds. So these are the four important types of winds. Now permanent wind. Under permanent wind comes the trade wind, westerlies and polar easterlies are some of the permanent or planetary wind. Then the monsoon wind, land and the sea breezes are the best example of the periodic or seasonal wind. Then the local winds like Chinook, Mistral, Loo, Fawn, and as well as nor'westers, they are example of the local wind. Then comes the variable wind. The cyclones and anticyclone that we constantly hear of, they are the variable wind. Since we have already dealt with the permanent or planetary wind, so now we will be dealing with the periodic or seasonal wind. So this wind system is not directly, this periodic or planetary seasonal wind system, it is not directly related to the pressure belt. This wind is caused by the unequal heating and cooling of the Earth's surface. That's because of the difference in the specific heat capacity of the land and water. Creation of periodic or seasonal wind takes place, and this wind, it is of great meteorological interest as they directly influence the health of the people. Vegetation in a certain area, it is influenced by it. Economic activities that takes place in a certain area, it is affected by it. As I've already told you that monsoon, land and sea breezes are the very good example of the periodic wind, and we will discuss it one by one. Monsoon. Monsoon, it is synonymous with our country as well, and it is derived from the Arabic word Mosim, which means season, or it is also derived from the Malayalam word Mosin, which means the season. So it blows in a fixed direction and during a particular season, and it reverses its direction as the season changes. It can be considered as the land and the sea breezes on a larger scale. And we can best notice the monsoon wind in Southwest Asia and Northern Australia. So monsoon wind can be divided into two types, that is the summer monsoon and the winter monsoon. Summer monsoon. So summer monsoon, as the name suggests, it occurs in the summer season. So during the summer, what happens is the land gets heated up and in comparison to the water body. So as the land gets heated up, so the air that is lying over the land surface, it starts to expand and it starts to rise. So when it expands and rises, at that time low pressure is created over the land surface, whereas high pressure is still present in the water body. Now the greatest quality of the air is to move from high pressure area towards the low pressure area. So high pressure is there in the water body, low pressure is there in the land surface. Now the air, it starts to move from the water body towards the land surface. This is known as the summer monsoon, and as it is coming from the water body, it collects lots of moisture and there's lots of rainfall in the area which is affected by the summer monsoon. Winter monsoon. As winter has approached, the land is cooler than the water body. High pressure is created over the land and low pressure over the water body. The wind is now blowing offshore, that is from land towards the sea. The land towards the since the low pressure is created over the water body. Since it is blowing from the land, it does not have any moisture unless it has come across a water body. Like in the case of Tamil Nadu of India, it receives rainfall from the winter monsoon because winter monsoon collects moisture as it passes over the Bay of Bengal. So only some of the places, if the winter monsoon is passing via the water body, only some of the places receives the rainfall. Land and sea breezes. So this land and sea breezes are also periodic wind, but it occurs diurnally or in the daily basis. And this also occurs similar to the monsoon. It also occurs due to differential heating of land and the sea breeze. So it develops along the coastal area on a large inland water bodies in summer when the land is heated faster than the water. On a clear day, especially on the clear day, low pressure develops over the land area because the land is heated, and high pressure over the water body. Now the air movement, it starts to move from the ocean towards the land. that is known as the sea breeze. Okay, and sea breeze, it reaches its great intensity during the afternoon. It becomes very intense, or it becomes very strong during the afternoon. Land breeze, they occur during the night time. So now at night, what happens is the air over the land has cooled because of the radiation. Air over the land has cooled. Now the air, that cool air, it starts to descend, and when it is descending, the air becomes thicker. Now high pressure is created over the land, whereas the low pressure is created over the sea. So the wind then starts to flow from land towards the sea. That means the wind is an offshore wind. It is blowing from land towards the sea. Especially, it takes place especially in the islands and near the coastal area, and it brings a very welcoming relief to the stagnant humid weather condition that is prevailing over this area. Because of the land breeze, there is relief to this kind of weather. And in some cases, the wind are so regular, the land and the sea breeze wind are so regular that the fishing boats, they go out at night with the land breeze, and they return the next evening with the sea breeze. This is all for today. The remaining portion I will be either uploading in the YouTube, or else I will WhatsApp you in your group. So girls, please study, stay home and stay safe.